We welcome you to Wrigley Field in Chicago, where Anthony Rizzo is getting ready earlier against the Padres this year. 6 for 12, 3 doubles, and 2 RBIs. He's enjoyed the season series. On the other side, so has Manuel Margot for the Padres. Margot 4 for 10 so far in the season series with a couple of doubles and a couple of runs scored. Both in the lineup tonight. It's the Padres and Cubs in Game 1 of a 4-game series from Wrigley Field. Welcome inside the booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres Baseball. Well, the Cubs were a good team, but they got better around the trade deadline. They were busy getting themselves ready for the postseason.
Trying to work some of that 2016 magic around the trade deadline. And how do you do that? You bolster the pitching staff. How do you do that with a left-hander by the name of Cole Hamels? Get him from Texas. And I'll tell you what, you do the math if you're watching this game. Texas, Chicago, Rangers, Cubs. Whole new atmosphere. After what he did in Pittsburgh, this is going to be quite an addition for the Cubs. Then you go into Brandon Kinsler from Washington. Jack of all trades. He can go an inning a third. He can close 17 and 16, 29 and 17. He can close it out. And then Justy Chavez. What has he done? Only 9 frames, 10 strikeouts. Refreshing for Joe Madden, the Cubs, bridging that gap to the closer and winning a lot of ball games down the stretch.
So tonight is Game 1 of a 4-game series, and the Padres give the ball to Robbie Erlin, who makes his 3rd start of the year.
The numbers are unbelievable. Starter, reliever. Not good as a starter, but Robbie Erlin out of the bullpen has been really, really solid. So what's the mindset? Well, let's take a look at the numbers first. 2 starts this season, winless, 7 innings, high ERA, a lot of base runners. Robbie out of the bullpen. Be aggressive early. I think he should take the mentality of the mound tonight, Chicago. This is a relief appearance. If I go 3, I can go 3. If I throw fewer pitches and go 5, I think that's gravy for the Padres. So have that reliever mentality tonight for Robbie Erlin in the first game of the series.
He's earned that opportunity to be matched up against Montgomery. Game 1 of a 4-game series coming your way next. Coming up, the Padres invade Wrigley Field for 4 games in the Windy City. Padres, Cubs, Game 1 is next from Wrigley.
Through the dirt, I'm never giving up yet. We got nothing to lose. Light the fuse. We're on fire,
Padres and Cubs ready to go from Chicago on a warm late afternoon, early evening here as the Padres and the Cubs meet again. Second time this year. The Cubs took 3 from the Padres at Petco Park. It's time now to check out Saquon's Pick the Stick. Fans, you decide who you're with by tweeting out #I'mWith. Last name of the broadcaster you think has the best pick. If you're right, you can win a free lunch buffet for 2 at Saquon Casino. Must be 18 years or older to win. Our picks for today on a beautiful day. Lots of sunshine here in Chicago. Time now for our weather report, brought to you by your always sunny Honda dealers of San Diego County. 77 degrees, westerly breeze at 6 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy, the forecast for the remainder of the night, but lots of blue sky and not many clouds as we get it started here tonight. Don Orsillo, Mark Grant, Bob Scanlon with you from Wrigley Field in Chicago. First of 4, we check out the Padres starting lineup. Brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. And Will Margot leading it off in center field. Will Myers in left. Hunter Renfro's in right with Eric Hosmer at first base. Chris should be in the wave at third base. Austin Hedges does the catching with Freddie Galvis at shortstop. Jose Pirela at second base. Bats 8th and Robbie Erlin out of the 9th spot. Mike Montgomery on the mound tonight for the Cubs.
Mike Montgomery, the 29-year-old, making his 12th start in the spot for Darvish, who is hurt. They're hoping he's going to get back. A lot of ground balls, a lot of contact, a lot of base runners since he's been in the rotation.
First pitch of the ball game in there for strike 1 to Manuel Margot. 249 average for Manny coming in. 4 homers, 29 runs batted in. Now Montgomery individually coming in at 3 and 4. With an ERA over 4, 4.03. 30th appearance, 12th start. Bounces in, evens a count at 2 and 2.
Don, we talked about opportunity for Robbie Erlin, opportunity for Mike Montgomery as well. I mean, he's going to go down to the Cub history books of getting his first major league save, is getting the last out of a World Series. But he's getting an opportunity with Darvish on the shelf, because they were expecting big things from you, not you, but you, Darvish, and you know, being on the DL is not going to help matter. So this is a good opportunity for this left-hander, and hopefully he can do Joe Madden well, sending him out there every 5th day.
Cubs are glad to be home. They were in Pittsburgh last night. There's a grounder right side, chopped at Baez. Margot is out number 1.
Check out the Cubs defense. They've got a good defense tonight. They've got a good defense every night. Their defense is brought to you by the Cadillac dealers of San Diego. In the outfield, Ian Happ, Almora Jr. in center, and Jason Hayward in right. On the infield, Bodie, Russell, Baez, and Rizzo. And behind the plate, be careful. He's got a great arm, accurate arm. 9 errors. He leads Major League Baseball catchers, but there's a reason for that, and we're going to get into that a little later in the telecast.
And 1 down for Will Myers. Myers and Montgomery at one time teammates in the minor leagues. The Tampa Bay system in Durham. AAA Durham. 278, 9 homers, 30 runs batted in. Myers getting the start in left field tonight. Interesting to see if Myers gets a start at third base here on this road trip.
I was reading about that. We were seeing him taking ground balls. He is so athletic. Why not try to maybe get him ready for third base? Doesn't mean he's going to win a Gold Glove over there, but check out his skills down at the 3rd sack.
Month of July pretty good for Myers. 598 slugging percentage, 8 doubles, a triple, 7 homers in the month of July. Fouls this one off the right side up into the upper deck.
It's the rest of the ball club that needs to get hot and get going after that July. 5 and 20 for San Diego. The calendar has turned after the off day.
Now, Will Myers was not the problem in July. 5 and 20 month for Andy Green. In the air to right, Hayward on the move, will get there. 2 down in the first inning. Well, our umpiring crew tonight, Shane Livensbarger has got the plate tonight, calling the balls and strikes. The crew chief, Fielding Culbreth at first, CB Bucknor at second, and Angel Hernandez, the umpire, at third. Renfroe standing in with 2 down. Sounded like a broken bat, and it's through into left field. Base hit for Renfroe. First base runner to reach tonight for the Padres. 2 down in the first inning.
Well, hits are hard to come by. He will gladly sacrifice that shillelagh. As we take a look, lefty on righty. It's in the kitchen. In the kitchen big time, down by the label of Hunter Renfroe, but he's so darn strong. Fights that one through the left side for a big league knock. Here goes the no-hitter.
2 down, Renfroe at first, and Eric Hosmer standing in. 252, 10 homers, 43 runs batted in for Hosmer. Riding an 8-game hitting streak coming into tonight's action. Hitting at .345 during the streak. It's the longest streak in a Padres uniform for Hosmer, who plays tonight in his 106th game as a Padre.
Talk about the everyday guys from the Padres. Hosmer, Galvis, good gloves. You got to have that consistency each and every day, right? I mean, he's the guy. If you're going to be slumping, you know what? You're going to get that start still. You need your defense. Hopefully you click out of it.
Popped up foul off to the left.
And of course, lefties and righties, it doesn't matter. With the everyday guy, go get him.
And the Cubs swept the Padres 3 straight in San Diego mid-July. The first series of the season series. These 4 games will be the end of it. That is just away, framed by Contreras, but it's ball, and it's 1-2.
You're not going to get a lot of strikeouts from Montgomery. He's going to try to peck away at the corners. He tries to go down away here. It looks like a little slider or cut fastball maybe. Contreras does his best to frame it, but not getting the call.
Hosmer strikes out. First K of the night for Mike Montgomery. Padres are gone. The Cubs are coming up. Cubs coming up in the bottom of the first inning. As we check out Joe Madden starting 9 tonight. He's got Anthony Rizzo leading it off at first base. Albert Almora Jr. in center. Jason Hayward in right with Javier Baez, the second baseman. Wilson Contreras does the catching. Ian Happ in left field. Addison Russell at shortstop with Mike Montgomery batting out of the 8th spot, the pitcher. And he's got his third baseman, David Bodie, out of the 9th spot. As Robbie Erlin gets a start tonight for the Padres.
And the 27-year-old left-hander making his 3rd start. Got a couple moves on the DL with Perdomo and Eric Lauer, and he's the swing man. good numbers in relief, and take that mentality to the mound right here in the first inning as if he is warmed up in the bullpen to come out and relieve Luis Perdomo or Eric Lauer, whatever the case may be. Go get him, Robbie. Good opportunity tonight.
Rizzo leads it off, drives it to right, but right at Renfroe. Reaches up to make the catch for the first out.
Well, we saw Hunter Renfroe in right field. The rest of the Padres defense looks a little bit like this. To Hunter's right in center field will be Manuel Margot. In left field, Will Myers. Put down the signs tonight, Austin Hedges. Third base, Christian Villanueva. Everyday Freddie Galvis at shortstop. Jose Parola at second base. And Eric Hosmer, the Gold Glover, at first base. A .986 fielding percentage for Freddie leads all the National League shortstops.
One down here in the first inning brings up Albert Almora Jr. Average up over 300 to start the night. Checks in at 306. 4 homers and 30 runs batted in. Robbie's kind of earned this, I think, this spot start or whatever this would be categorized as. He's done a great job coming out of the pen. The numbers have not been great when he started his previous 2 starts, but he has logged some very serious innings for the Padres out of the pen.
And he knows that every opportunity is valuable. I mean, let's face it. I think Robbie Erlin, when it's all said and done, wants to look at his big league career and say, I was a starter the majority of my career, not coming out of the bullpen. And that takes consistency each and every time out. He's got a perfect opportunity. Let's face it, the Cubs in the race. They've got a good lineup. Different atmosphere here at Wrigley Field. It's the big stage.
This is technically the 28th start of Erlin's career. Starter 0-2 with an ERA over 14. And a 2.05 earned run average out of the pen.
You know, this is the type of atmosphere you love to pitch in front of.
Ground ball to short. Galvis will gather. 2 down in the Cubs' first inning. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your Honda dealers of San Diego County.
Well, with Robbie Erlin on the hill, Mike Montgomery for the Cubs. A couple of left-handers out there tonight. Robbie in relief role. We've said it many times already. Take it as if you're coming out of the bullpen and picking up the 4th inning and crush Montgomery mistakes. Not a lot of strikeouts. He nibbles at the corners. If you get a mistake, crush it. Hey, hit one out, why not? It's Wrigley Field. Join in on the fun.
2 down in the first inning for Jason Hayward. It's a start in right and bats third in this order. Hayward at 281, 7 homers, 45 runs batted in. Kind of a tall task here for Robbie Erlin. Take a look at his lineup. Kind of a daunting task. They lead the National League in runs. They've scored 540. The team batting average 267. That leads as well. Scored at least 9 runs in a game for the 18th time this year in last night's game in Pittsburgh. I mean, the ranks are pretty good for this offense. This is the exact look at their rankings. 2nd and 3rd in walks and slugging percentage. 1st in virtually every other category.
Yeah, and you know what the opposite of that is? The home runs. They're 9th in the National League. So what's that telling you? It's telling you that they don't have to hit the ball out of the ballpark to score a lot of runs. It's doubles. It's a lot of singles. It's multiple base runners during innings.
Hayward strikes out. A good first for Erlin. Done with 1 without a score. You by Petco, the pet company. By Cadillac, visit your San Diego Cadillac dealers today. And by Pacific Surfliner, ride the Surfliner to your next Padres game. Beautiful city of Chicago, where the Padres will be for 4 days. Actually 5. Enjoyed the off day here yesterday. Game 1 of the series into the second inning. Christian Villanueva. It's 2:19 coming in. Villanueva leading it off after the Padres did not score on the first inning. Rounding one on a couple of hops down to Bodie at third base. First out of the second inning.
Yeah, there's a buzz at the ball yard tonight, isn't there, Donnie?
Always is here.
I'll tell you what, Wilson Contreras walked from the dugout out to the bullpen underneath the left field bleachers, and all of a sudden there was this eruption from the crowd. I'm like, what's going on? Well, I look, and Wilson Contreras making that short walk, and all the fans down the left field line and left field bleachers just standing applauding.
Same for Montgomery when he came out of the bullpen, which is underneath here now in left field. One out, and Austin Hedges, the recipient of strike one. I mean, there has to be an adrenaline rush, I would think, for guys who play like this every night.
I'm pumped up being here. I think it gravitates up to us as well, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's like a playoff atmosphere, but it's regular season game number 111. Ballpark jam before the game, around the ballpark.
It's a party. There just happens to be a ball game going on.
0-2 to Hedges. Softly lined under the reach at Bodie in the left field for Hedges. One out base hit. Austin's aboard, second into the night for the Padres.
Try to avoid the strikeout. Only one strikeout so far. That's Eric Hosmer tonight. But look at this left-hander Montgomery as he tries to go inside, and Austin is very, very quick to it. Little cut fastball, slider, rotation. And those are the pitches they're going to have to do some damage with. That damage doesn't necessarily mean a home run. Hey, get on base like Austin just did, because that was a bad pitch up in the zone.
One out, one on, and Freddie Galvis standing in on the right side. Former Philly. As this will be strike one. Look at that inside corner to Galvis. Played in every game. All 111 for the Padres this year so far. Batting with one out and Hedges at first base. On the ground by the dive. Bodie at third base into left field. Heading for third is Hedges. And the throw will go in the direction of third into second base. So the stand-up double goes Freddie Galvis, second and third with one out. On a Galvis double. Padres got something going here in the second inning.
Well, 20 is a good round number for Freddie Galvis. That's his 20th double of the season. And once again, Montgomery tries to go inside. He did it to Hedges. He does it to Galvis. And this one is by Bodie. Hit sharply. He's playing well off the bag. A two-hopper just out of the glove, and the Padres got some action going on here. Padres in pull mode against Montgomery.
There's Jose Pirela with an opportunity here to do some damage early in this one. Second and third, one out. Pirela started the night hitting at 258. Getting the start at second base, 3 home runs, 27 RBIs. It's Hedges at third, Galvis at second, one down here in the second inning. Back to the mound. They get it. Hedges hung up. A bad throw. And they will eventually get Hedges out here with Galvis taking third. Getting all the way to second was Pirela. Hedges stayed in the rundown long enough. Almost an errant throw there for Mike Montgomery.
After it's all said and done, it's a wash. Padres are back to where they started, as Hedges' responsibility is to get in a rundown to let Perella get to second base. Now Jose comes to first. Come on, Jose, you got to watch now. Now he's off to second. He's caught in a pickle. Galvis moves up. Perella into second. 1-5-2-6 on that if you're scoring at home. 1-5-2-6.
Second and third, 2 down, and now the pitcher, Robbie Erlin, with a chance to help himself out here in the Padres' second inning. Earl will take strike one. Curveball that time from Montgomery. 77 hitter in his career, 5th major league season. 1 for 7 on the year at the plate. First time through for Montgomery. 7 of 9 first pitch strikes for the left-hander. He's jumped ahead here. 0-2. Sprawled out, Contreras making the block there. It's fun to watch.
You see him in the pose position there. That ball was right in front of him, but he was still eyeing the runners. They're not going to go anywhere. It's second and third, but then he put his hand up to the umpire for about a good 5 seconds, wanting the umpire to put the new baseball in his hand because the previous one was in the dirt.
Merlin has worked it even again here. 2-2.
Not going to see Montgomery lighten up the radar gun. 91-ish, 92. His curveball is a pretty good pitch.
Seems pretty tight.
Very tight. Rotation, you bet.
Ram Truck's tools of the trade focuses on.
Wilson Contreras, be careful on the bases. Secondary lead, okay, but scamper back. He is not afraid to throw. Now that ball right there, that was bounced up in the air. Joey Votto committed, right? But he will throw to any base anytime with accuracy. And we mentioned the errors before. Well, when you got a guy who's very aggressive in the bases, there's going to be some balls thrown away. But you got to be heads up when you're on either of those bases out there, because Contreras will throw behind you.
Pretty impressive. Far and away the most pickoff attempts by any catcher. 58. Martin Maldonado 24.
More than double the second place cat.
A pretty good AB turned in here by Robbie Erlin right now. Full count had been 0-2. And he strikes out looking. Close pitch. Second strikeout for Montgomery ends the second. Scoreless from Chicago.
When he's coming out of the pen, he's coming after guys from the get-go. That's what we want to see him do in the rotation. I think sometimes game planning gets more involved for a rotation guy rather than a bullpen guy, and I think some of that causes him maybe to pitch a little bit more passively. So for me, I just want to see him go out and attack, throw his stuff, throw it aggressively, attack where he's been good, and believe good things are going to come.
That's Andy Green talking about Robbie Erlin, who's getting the start tonight. This is his third opportunity to be in the rotation, guys, and he's certainly earned it. He's done a fantastic job out of the bullpen. But a couple of things to keep an eye on. You heard Andy talking about him needing to stay aggressive. He loves how he goes after guys coming out of the bullpen. He wants to see a lot of strike ones tonight. But the other thing that happened in those other two starts, guys, is there was a lot of inability to put guys away with 2 strikes. Opposing hitters were 5 for 9, along with 2 walks. That's a .636 on base percentage once he had gotten 2 strikes. So Don Mudd is something to keep an eye on tonight. So far, so good. He had 2 strikes on Almora and Hayward and put both of them away.
Yeah, so far so good, Scan. First inning, pretty brief for him. You look at his arsenal, what he uses. A lot of fastballs from Robbie Erlin.
I think Bob makes a good point, and I think there's been a common theme with the starters when you get 2 strikes. 1, 2, okay, but put them away. A lot of foul balls, no put away pitches. That needs to change.
Javi Baez leading it off here for the Cubs. Hovering around 300 all year. 299. 22 homers, 83 runs batted in.
Well, there's a couple of nuggets I wanted to share with you, Donnie, about this Cubs team. One is good. Versus left-handed starters this year, they're 18-7. Good record. Not so good against lefties who have a good changeup. And let's see if Robbie Erlin pulls more of that out tonight. I think we just saw a combo right there. So if Robbie can locate the fastball, good strikes, maybe into these hitters up and out of the zone, and then drop that changeup, take your chances that way.
Baez carves it foul, remains 1-2. Let's take a look at StatCast. AI powered by AWS. On the ground towards second base. Perella to first. 1 down in the second inning. So 4 in a row retired by Robbie Erlin. Beautiful night tonight in Chicago. Sun setting.
A little on the warm side, but not too bad. Humidity is up there, but once again, not overbearing like it can be here in Chicago. As long as there's no rain, right? I think we're good to go.
Contreras standing in with 1 out. That's strike 1 from Erlin. Robbie's retired the first 4. He's blowing in so far. Goes the other direction. You got a whole other problem.
You most certainly do.
Makes a difference here.
You know, as a starting pitcher, the first thing you did after you jumped in the cab from the hotel, you came to the ballpark. As soon as you stepped that foot out on the drive, you look up at the flags at Wrigley Field, and you're thinking, "Oh no, it's blowing out today."
Fly ball, right field. Renfroe will have plenty of room, and he makes a catch for out number 2. Well, the Cubs who bettered themselves with some moves at the deadline. We talked about that off the top, and it's a pretty good race going on right now in the Central to the Cubs. They're just a game ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers, who the Padres will see next. 7 better than the Pirates and the Cardinals. You can't count out.
Nope.
It's the Brewers playing good baseball, and plus the Cubs have regained the top spot by 1 game.
And the Pirates, you mentioned it, making those moves 7 games. I mean, that's a bold move by Neil Huntington and the Buccos. And you look at within the Central, Pittsburgh has a better record in the Central, and so does the St. Louis Cardinals. Cubs are only 2 games above 500 in the Central.
They took a look at what both teams have done in the last 10 games. The Cubs have gone 5-5, while the Brewers have won 7 of their last 10. Elevating and chasing was half out of the zone. Second strikeout for Erlin through 2 without a score from Wrigley. All right, Mike and Tony, thanks very much. Leadoff single to start things here in the 3rd inning for Manuel Margot. So a good start to the 3rd for the Padres. They collect their 4th hit. And as Mike and Tony were just talking about, the American League East, Red Sox starting that 4-game series at Fenway against the Yankees with a 5.5-game lead over New York. And it's really been a 2-team race for a long time.
Yeah, you just got to keep pace, right? Because Boston's pretty much, they can go 0 for the rest of the season. I say that sarcastically, but still, you look at the other teams in the division in the wild card race. You know, Seattle at 63 wins, Minnesota with 49. So if they just keep pace, good to go.
There's Will Myers with Margot at first, and nobody out here in the 3rd inning. Soft toss over, and back is Margot. Lined out to right in the 1st inning. Tonight, Montgomery making his 12th start of the year, 30th appearance overall. Allowed a career high 12 hits in 5 innings last Friday against the Cardinals. He had 5 runs. Took the loss in a 5-2 Cubs setback. He's pitched at least 5 innings in all 11 of his previous starts. Starter 3-3 this year. A 3.50 ERA. 48 career starts, 13-15. Another check going over a lot. Very concerned with Margot.
Well, for Montgomery, he had a career high in innings pitched last year, 130. Going into this game, 87. So as a starter, you know, that's quite a, that's one of those areas where you start to look at how he is having success on the mound, if he's going to be running into trouble. So the innings pitch count is something they're keeping an eye on, because last year was a career high at 130. He doesn't have, how can I say it, if they're in a grading system, you know, plus pitches. He doesn't have that blazing fastball. He doesn't have that biting, you know, power curveball. He doesn't have that Trevor Hoffman changeup. He's got to be on his game and hit his spots to be successful. A lot of contact.
That's 2 strikeouts through the first 2 innings. Another throw over. Margot back to the bag. Hasn't walked anybody in so far as allowed 4 hits, including a leadoff hit here by Manuel Margot that has started the 3rd inning. Good size lead over there for Manuel. Myers will look at strike 2.
And Anthony Rizzo not really anchored at first base. He's kind of maybe a couple feet off the back to where he can go back to first base with the throw from Montgomery, and then he's in a position to where he can hold his ground if Montgomery goes to the plate defensively. Now it looks like he's going to be anchored over there, but then he'll kind of scoot off a little bit.
Myers to left, Happ coming in, and he'll make the catch below the top high. First down in the 3rd inning. Back to first goes Margot. Myers 0 for 2 so far tonight. And that'll bring up Hunter Renfroe. Let's check in with Bob Scanlon.
You know, Don, looking at Mike Montgomery, this is the first outing this season where he's known for sure that he's a part of this starting rotation. Earlier in the year, he joined the rotation when Yu Darvish got hurt, but since then, it's been hanging over his head whether he would stay, especially with the addition of Cole Hamels. But with Tyler Chatwood moving to the bullpen for the first time, he knows, okay, this job is mine, and he wants to grab it, because you may recall during the offseason, he was pretty outspoken about wanting to get back into the rotation. In fact, later on, he apologized for some of the things that he said, but he's getting his opportunity and no strings attached at this point.
Joe Madden hoping that it goes well. Montgomery comes in with a record of 3 and 4. And gets the strike over to Renfroe that puts him on top here 0 and 2. He's got the opportunity right in front of him.
And there's something to be said to that. If you know you're going to be in the rotation, yeah, they're going to give you a leash. You have a bad outing or 2, yeah, you're going to get another start. But then there's that other one over your head where it's like, man, if in between the ears, if I don't have a good start, I don't know if I'm going to get it the next time. Next thing you know, you're backing up 3rd and you're down 8 runs.
This is 40th pitch of the night. And he missed for ball 1. Renfroe the single to left field first time up. Possesses one of the 4 Padres hits on the night. Margot had widened his lead, and Montgomery noticed.
And he does not have a good move. He does not have an Eric Lauer move.
Especially for a lefty.
Yeah. You know what I've always said, Don, and I think you've heard me say this before, I don't think there's any excuse for a left-hander not to have a good move. That is something you can practice each and every day.
Runner goes. All right. Pitch taken high by Renfroe, and out at second base is Margot. What a throw by Contreras. Baez slaps on the tag, caught stealing. 2 to 4, 2 down.
That is a cannon behind home plate. We talked about Contreras, him throwing the bases, this being a straight steal, and look at the accuracy. Baez catches it. He just got to lower it right into the left hand, right into the oven mitt. And Margot is erased. Wow.
Two down, base is empty now on the count of 2 and 2. Foul off the bricks. Turning on that was Renfroe way out ahead.
He found that ball nearly directly behind him, right?
Pretty much. Padres have run into 2 outs so far in this game. Caught stealing at second, and then Hedges got hung up between 3rd and home an inning ago. 2-2. Ball 3. Renfroe now, if the inning does continue. Eric Hosmer would be next. There are 2 outs here, though, on the top of the 3rd. Left side to 3rd, David Bodie for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 3rd without a score from Chicago. Cubs have made, and they got a great addition from a new starting pitcher.
I think this is going to do wonders for the Cubs. In Pittsburgh, Cole Hamels, the San Diegan, he is going to be in a new atmosphere rather than Arlington, Texas. Going to Chicago, working with Wilson Contreras and the rest of this Cubs lineup and defense. That's another big thing. This Cubs defensively is a darn good team. And Cole Hamels, I don't care if you're a rookie, I don't care if you're a 12-year veteran. You get traded to a team like the Cubs at the deadline when you're in the hunt, that's going to change the mentality of Cole Hamels. I think we're going to see big things from the veteran left-hander.
Addison Russell leading it off here for the Cubs in the bottom of the third inning. .263 coming in. 5 homers, 35 runs batted in for the Chicago shortstop. Pitch 25 for Robbie Erlin. It's on the ground towards Burrell at second base. It's out number 1 of the bottom of the third inning. 7 in a row retired by Robbie Erlin.
Avoiding the sweet spot, getting some grounders. A couple of punch outs for the left-hander. Stay hot.
One down for the pitcher. Joe Madden's got his pitcher batting 8th in the Cubs lineup tonight. Mike Montgomery, 091 average, 2 for 22 this year. And down 0-2. Swing and a miss. Montgomery waves at it. And that is strikeout number 3 for Robbie Erlin. 2 down here in the third inning.
Well, if you flip-flop, let's say 8-9, right? 9 and 8, the way they are tonight. Well, there's 2 outs. If you have 2 outs, you got Bodie coming up. It's almost like, okay, you got a position player, the chances to flip over that lineup rather than 2 outs and then the pitcher coming up. Could be one of the way that Joe Madden's thinking.
David Bodie fouls it off to the right out of play.
Robbie Erlin's a strike machine up to this point. 24 strikes, only 5 balls thrown by the left-hander.
Retired the first 8 Cubs that he's faced tonight. Let's look at the breakdown for him in the first 30. Popped up foul. That'll reach the seats. And behind a brand new dugout here for the Padres. We're housed on the first base side of Wrigley Field. And new dugouts here. They are spacious and roomy, unlike the old ones.
You know what? Not a fan. I like the old dugouts. Yeah. I don't mind that bench right there to where you can see right in front of the netting there, but the bench behind it, which probably a lot of guys aren't going to be sitting, so I think it's wasted space.
Can't really see much from that back bench.
Can't see anything.
Sat there today.
Yeah.
And you really can't even see the back bench from the front bench because the front bench is blocking it. But there's a whole other bench back there. This is to short, picked on a hop beautifully by Galvis. Throw is low and Hosmer digs it out. Another nifty play turned in by the Padres shortstop. Scoreless through 3. It's time now for the Valley View Casino trivia question of the night.
I love trivia questions.
Which former Cubs player holds the MLB record for most times leading a league in RBIs? Tweet us your answer by the end of the inning using hashtag Valley View Trivia. You grew up here. What do you think?
You know what? There's been a lot of good hitters wearing a Cub uniform. So many guys come to mind. First guys that come to mind, if I'm going way back, old school, Hack Wilson, Billy Williams, Ernie Banks. You know, even Dave Kingman, but he was home run or strikeout. He'd fit in today's game perfectly, by the way. You got any guesses?
I don't, because I just got new information which could change some things.
Oh, so it's a trick question.
It is. It could be a White Sox player.
Oh, for the love of paint. Really?
Yeah, it changes everything. Just Chicago. It's kind of a vague.
They did beat the Royals today on the south side.
Did they? Eric Hosmer ahead here 3-0 to begin things in the fourth inning. Hosmer, Villanueva, Hedges. 3-0. And that one pumped in there for a strike. 91-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle. Hosmer coming in with an 8-gamer. Time with Howie Kendrick for the current longest active streak. Chopped down the first baseline. Rizzo may need help. Over is Montgomery, and he just does get the foot down for out number one. Ended up being closer than I think Rizzo thought. Montgomery got over there, but barely for the first out of the inning.
I initially thought that Anthony Rizzo was going to take it himself, but here's the exchange, and they. Glove, foot, yeah, they got it.
One out here in the fourth inning for Christian Villanueva. Villanueva grounded down to third base, first time up. Spending some of his career in the Cubs organization. Never made it to the big leagues with the Cubs, get as high as AAA Iowa.
Yeah, there's a kid by the name of Chris Bryant in his way, I think, right?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Second year of the Padres last year. A total of 12 games of the Padres. This year, 19 home runs in his probably first full season in the big leagues. As are back 1-2.
Getting a heavy dose of seeing the opposing pitchers in both the Interleague and National League, so he's got to do his homework, and they're going to be out to get him as Austin Hedges has been around a few years. Eyes Mike Montgomery.
Sun setting, and it is kind of twilight right now in Chicago. It'll be tough on fly balls for the moment as this one is fouled off down the right field line out of play.
We got 3 planes coming in, Donnie. O'Hare to the north, 3 runways. How about that?
Wow, we're all lined up.
Yeah.
Fly ball center field, struck pretty well. Almora Jr. back to the dirt of the track, in front of the ivy to make the catch. 2 down.
RBI Baseball. Manage your dream team in franchise mode, plus get weekly stats, roster updates, and much, much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at RBIGame.com. It's rated E for everyone.
Beautiful Wrigley Field in Chicago, the site of Game 1 of a 4-game series between the Padres and Cubs. 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning, and Austin Hedges, it's his second plate appearance against Mike Montgomery. Single to center in the 2nd inning. And this one's into center field. Base hit with 2 down. And Hedges 2 for 2 on the night. Wide turn and will retrace his steps back to the bag at first. So 2 for 2 is the Padres catcher.
Talk about the swing of Austin Hedges. Watch the front foot, the leg kick. It is down, the hands are back, locked and loaded. And once again, it's not a home run, it's not a double, but it's a pitch that is crushed. He gets extended. Good topspin on that. That ball almost hit solidly where it knuckled almost. Travis going sans t-shirt tonight in the humidity. Showing off the chest lettuce tonight at Wrigley.
Alvis shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a strike.
Padres are being aggressive against Montgomery, huh?
5 hits Padres have. 3 of the 5 have come on the first pitch. Chop left side. Bodie, the third baseman, will go to first, and that is that. In the top of the 4th inning, 3.5 done without a score from Wrigley. It's time now for the answer to tonight's trivia question, brought to you by Valley View Casino. Which former Cubs player holds the MLB record for most times leading the league in RBI?
Cap Anson.
Cap Anson led the National League 8 times from 1880 to 1891.
That's the one vintage old-time Cubby that I forgot to say earlier. I had Gabby Hartnett, Hack Wilson, Cap Anson was my next choice.
Bottom of the 4th inning coming up for the Cubs at top of their order. Anthony Rizzo, first time through for Erlin, retired them all in order. 3 strikeouts along the way. Rizzo takes strike 1. Anthony Rizzo lined out to right field in the first, 0 for 1. Now for our Rocket Mortgage breakdown. 17 games for Rizzo, 23 hits, 354 average, 3 homers, 11 RBIs, the OPS .056.
Yeah, in that leadoff position for Anthony Rizzo, and I think it's gone longer than expected.
Yep.
And Anthony has been much more aggressive in the leadoff spot, and it's paying dividends. So why not stick with it, right?
I mean, it doesn't look like he's looking for walks to get on base, as he fouls this one off himself. It's not the mindset generally that you have of a leadoff hitter.
Right.
A little different approach, but then again, Joe Maddon's approach is a little different anyway.
I was just going to say, there's a method to his madness, right?
Yes. It's pretty much out of the box all the time.
Yeah. When are you going to dye your hair, by the way?
I didn't know I needed to.
Well, Joe's doing it. Shouldn't you do it?
On the ground first. Hosmer will flip to Erlin for the out. And that is out number 1 here in the 4th inning. So what is it that you're saying about my hair?
No, you've got the good flow going. It's a good look.
Yeah.
And kind of
a diet or something?
Well, the gray on the sides is kind of.
Jeez.
But you know what? We talked earlier about Wrigley Field, right?
We'll talk about your hair, by the way.
It's a great venue, isn't it?
It's an awesome venue.
I mean, we're nearly almost right on top of home plate. Yeah. And to think of all the greats that have come to this ballpark and put on the uniform and stepped foot on that field.
What I love most about our vantage point is this is like the old Yankee Stadium as far as it is built up, not back. So there's just a buzz here that comes into the booth from where we are. And we kind of hang over here. And it reminds me of the old Yankee Stadium the way it was.
And we're high up to where we can get a glimpse on a clear day of Lake Michigan.
Yep. And it was clear today. We got here to the ballpark. Inside out swing, blip down the right field line, foul. Off the bat of Albert Almora Jr.
And I think they've really dressed up this ballpark nicely.
Yes.
With the big screens, the big boards.
Both down the right field line and in left center. So far, Erlin has retired the first 10 that he's faced. 10 up, 10 down. Only 2 balls have been hit out of the infield. A header to right for Rizzo. A fly out to right for Contreras. Now Almora drives one out towards left center field. Margot will have room for out number 2. Let's check in with Bob Scanlon.
Don, so far so good for Robbie Erlin. In fact, he's gone first pitch strike to 10 of the first 11 batters that he's faced, and he's thrown a curveball for a strike as well so far. He's thrown 12 curveballs, 11 of those for strikes. Mark Grant, how good a feeling is it when you are able to get ahead and you know that you got a great feel on the breaking ball that day?
Bob, there is no better feeling, and it didn't happen quite that often, but when it did, you get in that position, that release point, and the ball just spins out of your hand. It's almost like you don't have to. You're on autopilot. You get the sign, your mechanics are in order, and you get that feel. And here's the key, I think, Bob, you'd agree with me. You try, okay, you throw 11 out of 12, like you said, right? Don't try to overdo it and say, I'm going to make this one better. No, 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 no. Stay in the same mode. You try to make it better, it might backfire on you, and I think Robbie's in a pretty good groove right now.
I would agree. That is always tempting, isn't it? Okay, yes. I can break this one off a little bit further, but he just seems so locked in right now and in command. He's not trying to overdo anything.
There's that happy medium for any player, pitcher, position player, swinging, fielding.
Hayward lines it foul outside the bag at third.
You find that happy medium, and if you don't try as hard or you don't give the effort, yeah, it'll backfire. But if you try too hard as well, it can backfire on you.
Hey, Mud, I don't know about you, but sometimes I would have a tendency to do that with my fastball, even more with my breaking ball. If I was locating it, I thought, okay, if I can throw 94, maybe 96 is better. Did you fall into that trap?
I did, and then later I found out try a little easier and it worked even better.
Erlin covers and it's late. First hit of the ball game here for the Cubs after he retired the first 11 that he faced.
Well, the frustrating part is that Robbie Erlin makes a good pitch. It's a grounder. Now the feed. He doesn't find the bag yet and doesn't have the ball in the glove yet, so clearly safe. He beats it out.
First hit of the night for the Cubs. Jason Hayward aboard, 2 down.
Now let's see how Robbie can adjust to going from the windup. Now I have to go from the stretch with a runner on first base.
Baez standing in with a 5-gamer coming in, 9 for his last 20. Grounded out to second in the second. A healthy hack right there, but strike 1. Ball and a strike from Erlin, who works from the stretch for the first time. Retired the first 11 that he faced until that infield hit by Hayward. Needs a good-sized lead at first, held on over there by Hosmer. Pitch 50 for Erlin. Oh, swing and a miss. Evens a count at 2-2.
I think there's that changeup I was talking about earlier. You take a big hack from Baez. Yeah, he likes to come out of his shoes, right? He likes to put a charge into one. How do you counter that? A changeup way out in front of him. Watch where the barrel of the bat is, and then the ball out in front, disrupting the timing of Baez.
Left side, cut off by Villanueva, throws to second for the force out. That'll end the 4th inning. To the 5th we go without a score. By Petco, the pet company. And by Jerome's Furniture, where Jerry's price is the lowest price every day. Beautiful city of Chicago as the Padres come to town for the first of 4. Scoreless into the 5th inning we go. 8-9-1 coming up here for the Padres.
You know, we're approaching the anniversary. You see those bulbs, you see those lights, those candles. August 8th, 1988. First time they flipped the switch here at Wrigley Field. There were people for it. There were people opposed to it. And that particular night, a huge thunderstorm came through. Maybe that was a sign. But I think it was for the better.
Talked to Joe Madden last year, and he's talked about it quite a bit. I'd like to see fewer day games here in Chicago now that they have the lights. It's tough on a team, he thinks.
It's very tough on a team, and I'm a firm believer the Cubs didn't win for so many years is just because that reason, all those day games.
I'm not sure Joe will get his way in that regard, but something he has tossed out there to short. Russell to first to retire Perella. So 1 down here in the 5th. They bring up Robbie Erlin.
Trying to rekindle that magic from 2016. They are no longer the lovable losers. High expectations now from here on out.
Hasn't changed the passion at all, though, here in Chicago. No. Line and into left field. Robbie Erlin with a ringing single to left. They could have used that in the 2nd inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd, but he'll take this.
That's a great swing by Robbie. Gets a first pitch fastball, middle in. Very athletic swing. Foot is down, hands are back, head right on it. Watch this follow through. Look at him get to that. That's big league.
One out, one on. Top of the order, Manuel Margot coming up. His third plate appearance. Got down to second in the first. Single to right in the third, and was caught trying to steal second base.
Rizzo was hopping around at first base. Robbie at first base, not a stolen base threat, so he's kind of teasing Robbie there to stay close in case there's a move from Montgomery, then scampering back towards more of his position away from the runner.
Montgomery backs off. Now the one-out single to Robbie Erlin.
Fastball away.
Line to right field, and that's going to get in for a base hit in front of Hayward. So Erlin takes second base on the single by Margot. Second hit of the night for Manning.
A lot of singles tonight. All the hit singles with the exception of Freddie Galvis' double in the second inning. Padres need to pump up the slugging percentage, but singles are okay. Just going to get a run or two home. And to talk about going to the opposite field. Manuel Margot eyes that one perfectly, and that was his intent there, to drive that one to right field very sharply.
The Padres have had at least one hit in every inning so far. There's Will Myers looking for his first hit of the night. 0 for 2. He's lined to right, flied out to left. Padres have left 4 on through the first 4 innings. It's time for our Kia drive for success. First RBI since July the 1st. You get Javi Baez for the Cubs, Will Myers for the Padres. He's tied with Arenado and Yelich in that category. On the ground foul again, and Myers down 1-2. Fouled that one off himself. Take a little stroll outside the batter's box.
Well, if you're looking for the long ball off of Montgomery, it's something that he does well. This being his 12th start, he's approaching 90 innings. He has 90 plus innings as we speak. Only 7 home runs. He works for the ground ball. He works down to the zone. So at times tough to elevate against the left-hander.
Myers now, Renfroe next. Padres batting with 1 down, runners at first and second in a scoreless contest. Myers hits it on the ground towards short. Russell to second for 1, on to first for 2. The 6-4-3 twin killing halfway through, no score. Tonight, through the first 4 innings, he has been outstanding. In fact, retired the first 11 that he faced to start the game. 3 by way of the K. Finally gave up a base hit, but his defense behind him has also been very good. And then Erlin helping out himself with a base hit, a ringing single to left field. Second hit of the year. He'd also had a base hit against Milwaukee back on March 31st. And here he is pitching into the bottom of the 5th inning in a scoreless contest tonight in Chicago against a very good Cubs lineup.
Yeah, the bats for the Chicago Cubs crickets until that one hit, and there's the line. Robbie very aggressive with all of his pitches. Bob Scanlon touched upon it earlier, the curveball in particular, and he has thrown a handful of changeups that have worked very well for him. By the way, I got a little nugget for you.
What do you got?
The word Chicago, you know where it originates from?
Nope.
The name Chicago was first recorded in a 1688 French document where it appears as, let's spell it out, C-H-I-C-A-G-O-U. It's an Algonquin word meaning onion field. And in explanation of this name, the document states that the wild onion or garlic grew profusely in this area, hence the name Chicago.
And you feel strongly about this source you're reading off your phone?
Yeah. So just a little history.
Credit the source?
Yeah, it's Google.
Pitch is low to Wilson Contreras, who leads it off here in the bottom of the 5th.
Chicago by the Free Dictionary. So thanks to the Free Dictionary for the explanation of the city name Chicago.
Contreras fly to right in the second, 0 for 1. You never know what you're going to learn. It's in the Padres baseball.
Just imagine how much smarter you got tonight by knowing that.
Just by knowing you. Contreras, Snap, Russell here in the 5th inning for the Cubs. Only hit an infield hit for Jason Hayward. Came with 2 outs in the 4th inning.
Austin trying to bring that one back in. That was a changeup at 86.
Popped up. Foul ground first base way. Hosmer by the seats won't have a play.
Hey, did you just see what Robbie Erlin just did right there? He went change up soft away and then hard into Contreras, trying to get in his kitchen. He did just that. He fought it off into the stands, but that's a good sequence of pitches back to back. Shook off the fastball and curveball going change up here.
And he loses it. The first walk allowed by Erlin starts the bottom of the 5th inning. Time now for our San Diego fans of the game. I saw some Padres fans walking around outside prior to the ball game, and some have made their way in here. The Padres here for the first of 4.
Had a gentleman out behind home plate out on the street there, was chatting to him. In fact, my high school baseball coach is here in attendance tonight, so he kind of gave me a yell. He's from Mike from Oceanside, making the way for the Padres game here at Wrigley. So welcome all Friar faithful to the north side.
Ian Happ swings through that for strike 1. It was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. He was a strikeout victim in the second. 1 of 3 Ks for Erlin tonight. Ball 1, 1-1. Happ now, Russell next as Cubs bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That's strike 2. Back to the fastball to get it.
Robbie touching 91, 92 on that fastball. Curveball high 70s, 76, 77. Changeup about mid 80s.
He's thrown 60 pitches to this point of the game. Dealing with his second hitter of the 5th inning. With a great lineup, and so far has kept them off balance all night. Again, they lead the National League in runs with 540. Team batting average at 267. And they've been able to do nothing so far with Robbie Erlin. Two-two to Happ coming up. And a swing and a miss. Erlin strikes him out. 4th strikeout for Robbie Erlin. 1 down here in the 5th inning. It's time now to take a look at the top tier plays brought to you by Arco. We talked a lot about the changeup for Erlin.
Yeah, they're putting it in play and they're staying off the sweet spot. And that's the intent for Robbie Erlin. Look at where the location of those pitches are. Off the plate. And they're out in front of it. And what I see the hitters when they throw the change, when he throws the changeup, the shoulder kind of gets exposed a little bit, the hips, therefore the bat kind of drags and lags a little bit. The barrel is out in front a little bit too much, therefore hitting off the end of the bat for some weak grounders. It's been a nice pitch for Robbie tonight.
1 out, 1 on. Addison Russell taking ball 1. Good block by Hedges. Advance for Contreras at first base. Russell bounced out to Jose Perella at second base in the 3rd inning. And a second look at Robbie Erlin. Again, Contreras. Padres trying to snap a 7-game losing streak coming in. Last time the Friars lost 8 straight games when they dropped 10. July 29th through July of 2013. Longest losing streak in club history, 13 games in May of 1994. 2-0 pitch from Erlin. That is ball 3.
Robbie missing on arm side right here and needs to make an adjustment. Not a lot of deep counts as far as 3 arches turn tonight. As Mike Montgomery waits on deck.
There's a strike, 3-1. To the screen, foul, and battling his way back is Erlin here, full count.
Remember the Contreras, he had 3 balls on last time up and threw the changeup and missed. He's behind on that last pitch. Fastball. Let's see if he tries to locate a good fastball here. Maybe get a grounder. See if they send the runner here to stay out of the double play.
Runner does go, and it's a fly ball to shallow right. Late break for Manfred. It's going to fall for a hit. And to third goes Contreras on the single by Russell to right. First and third for the Cubs. Not hit hard, and Renfroe kind of a late break from right field.
Well, something that the Cubs do so well this year, they lead Major League Baseball in the category, going from first to third. 81st time that has happened for the Cubs. And once again, it's a battle for Erlin, it's a battle for Russell. Off the end of the bat, broken bat, long run for Hunter Renfroe, and good read at first base by Wilson Contreras. The catcher doesn't run that well. First and third action for the Cubs, something they do very, very well. They're the best at it.
So they're at the corners with one down, and it brings up Mike Montgomery. Montgomery struck out swinging in the third, 0 for 1. Two for 23 now at the plate on the year. Strike called. Hedges jumped up with the front door open, thinking about going to third with a throw. In there for strike two. Montgomery didn't like it. Padres do have action for the first time in the pen. Jose Castillo. One-two. Back towards the mound. Erlin's got it. He'll go to second. Out there. Galvis is coming home. Nice. Out there is Contreras. It's a double play that ends the inning. So let's see here if the Cubs are going to challenge this. Russell retired at second, 1-6 on the force out there. Throw playward, and Contreras. Does he get the hand in before the tag is the question.
I think he may have. That was one heck of a slide by Contreras.
They are going to challenge, are the Cubs. We'll see.
You know what? Regardless how this pans out, that's one good pick by Austin Hedges. His right hand comes around. Does he get him on the left hand?
I don't know. That look, it almost looks like Austin was late tagging him.
Yeah.
Like the right hand did get to the plate before the tag occurred. That last look.
You know what? When his left hand hits the dirt, it kicks up some dirt, and it's kind of tough to see if there's contact made. Are they going to have enough to overturn this one?
That's tough.
Boy, nice play by Erlin to Freddie, and then Freddie's throw, a nice pick by Austin.
Challenged by the Cubs here. They've shown it a few times on the big board here at Wrigley Field.
Here's Robbie firing the strike to Galvis. Force play. Here's the pick by Hedges. Pick it up, get it down. Now watch his left hand, the hand closest to us. Does he touch him before his right hand hits? Oh, I think he's safe.
Yeah, he is.
I think he's safe. Yep.
We may not have gotten him at all.
I think you're right.
Did you see that?
I think he whiffed.
That last look looked like you didn't get him at all.
Yep. I think that is the definitive call.
It was almost like the swim move.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Generally, there's not enough to overturn it from time to time unless it's pretty definitive. They get a look at that last look. It's going to be a run for the Cubs. We'll see. Safe. Cubs take a 1-0 lead. Overturned. reach at first on the fielder's choice. We'll get another look.
Okay, now his right hand goes around as his left hand touches. Now he brings it back. Now watch the glove of Austin Hedges. He leaves it there. He moves his left hand up and out. His right hand touches home plate. He is safe. And immediately Contreras says, no, check that.
Fielder's choice, an RBI on the play. And a 1-0 Chicago lead. So Montgomery at first base and David Bodie, third baseman, who bats ninth. And Joe Maddon's order now coming up. See how this affects Robbie Erlin. Pitch 75 will be coming up for the left-hander. That's away from Hedges, but not far enough. Montgomery back to the bag at first.
Season high for Robbie in the starting category back in April against the Dodgers, 70 pitches. Back in May against the Nationals, 56 pitches. And what's it called? It's about putting the ball in play. Both Cub hits have really been not hit that hard.
Bodie, the first time, grounded out to shortstop. He is 0 for 1, getting his second look at Robbie Erlin. Popped up foul off to the right eye play. Full count now. 2 down and a run in for the Cubs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. They have struck first.
27 pitches this inning for Robbie Erlin. That's a workload after he's been cruising for the first 4. And the walk this inning comes around to score.
A leadoff walk turns into a run. Fly ball, center field. Going back, still going. Out of the dirt of the track. He leaps and makes the catch into the ivy. Nice play out there by Manuel Margot in right center field. So the Cubs score first, as it turns out, on a close play at the plate. Wilson Contreras comes in. Initially called out, but they overturn it after the review. The Cubs enjoy a 1-0 lead at the end of 5. Very nice play to end last inning defensively in center field for Manuel Margot.
Different mindset for outfielders here at Wrigley Field. Why? Because of that ivy out there. Behind that ivy is brick wall. It's been there for over 100 years. You're going to be a little tentative once you feel that warning track. Okay, how many strides do I have to go? Got to break it down a little bit, but that one was played perfectly by Manuel to haul it in for the final out.
Not easy. Reaches into the bushes there. Spiders and all kinds of stuff.
The
right?
bushes.
The shrubbery.
Yeah, you've got, man, any type of insect in there that can do some, you know, sting you and leave a serious infection.
Who knows what's in there? They made a nice grab and ended the inning. Cubs take a 1-0 lead here to the 6th inning.
That's great concentration on his part.
And Renfroe is going to lead it off. That's to the right of the 400 marker out there in right center field. Renfroe 1 for 2 in the ball game. Has single to left and grounded out to third. Strike 2. Fastball right down the middle. Renfroe, Hosmer, Villanueva face Montgomery here in the 6th inning. And a grounder to first base. Nice pick on the backhand by Rizzo. Going to run there and just beats Renfroe to the bag. That became a foot race right there. Rizzo lunging to the bag to beat him.
He plays the game so smoothly, Anthony Rizzo. Now the left-hander, Montgomery, he's kind of late. He kind of holds up a little bit, anticipating Rizzo taking himself. Now he's got to make a decision. Does he give it up? Does he take it himself? Why risk the toss of him not being there? So he beats him to the bag.
And 1 out, a visit here for Contreras to Montgomery. You and I were watching Anthony Rizzo take ground balls today, and he's going through a sequence of drills himself at first base.
He's really good. It was fun watching him, wasn't it?
Very, very good.
He was putting himself in every certain possibility out there, to his right, to his left, charging the ball and throwing accurately. And you and I had a nice chat with Brian Butterfield, the third base coach for the Cubs. And Brian made a good point. He said he's one of the very few first basemen that can throw to a bag with accuracy and being very aggressive in doing it. Some guys are tentative. They're afraid to throw. Whether it's the third base across the diamond or the second base on the force plate with a home plate. Not Anthony Rizzo.
He likes it.
That's why he's got that gold label on his glove there. Rawlings Gold Glove winner.
Also surprised by how big he is being down there close to him. I mean, he's a big, big dude.
And very nimble on his feet,
yes.
right?
2-0 pitch. And that's in there for a strike. 2-1. Former Padre Anthony Rizzo.
There's that label I was talking. Pretty cool, isn't it?
That is pretty awesome.
That's really cool. Eric Hosmer's got one as well.
And he's got strike 2, 2-2. Side for ball 3. Ball 4, and Hosmer down to first base with 1 out. Joe Madden making his way out here, and he's going to make a change. He's had Jesse Chavez in the pen, and it looks like we're going to see him with 1 out here in the 6th inning and a runner on before Christian Villanueva comes up. So a pitching change with the Cubs on top of the Padres 1-0 from Wrigley Field in Chicago. The top of the 6th inning. Players of the month. Jose Ramirez has been racking up the home runs, 8 of them in all in July, a .322 average. And how about Matt Carpenter, who started off with a miserable beginning this year for the Cardinals, but he bounces back in a big way, especially in the month of July. He is the National League Player of the Month, .333 average, 26 games, 11 home runs, and 21 runs batted in for the St. Louis Cardinals.
And for the Cardinals to make any noise or movement in that division, they're going to have to start winning collectively or have guys hot collectively. They're 31-24 in the Central. They need help in their bullpen, and the Cubs got some help from this kid via trade. Jesse Chavez, numbers with Texas and the Cubs. He pounds the strike zone. He's been with the Pirates, the Braves, the Blue Jays, the A's, the Dodgers, the Angels, Rangers. Just allowed 4 hits, 1 walk in 9 shutout innings with the Cubs, while striking out 10.
Strike 2 for Christian Villanueva. With 1 out, Eric Hosmer at first base. Villanueva 0 for 2 tonight, has grounded down to third and flied out to center.
Well, Montgomery was on his game tonight. 10 ground ball outs for the left-hander. Talked about that in the scouting report when he took the hill in the first.
Popped up foul, off to the right out of play. Montgomery goes 5 1/3, giving up 7 hits. He's responsible for Hosmer's at first. No runs so far. Walked a batter, struck out 2. 2-2 to Villanueva is fouled back again.
Good job by Montgomery tonight. Only 1 walk.
Fouled off over by the on deck circle this time, where Austin Hedges is currently standing. Two from the right-hander. Runs inside. Fastball at 91 from the right-hander. Albert Almora Jr., center fielder, over towards the left center. Big gap in right center. Villanueva could poke it that way. Could run a while. 9th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Runner goes, and Villanueva fouls it off on the backswing. And the second time.
Trying to pound the zone with a 92-mile-an-hour sinker.
So a 10-pitch at bat now. He's fouled off 5. Working hard. 4 of the 5 fouls have been with 2 strikes. Pitch 10 of the AB. Runner goes, and Villanueva swings again and fouls it off. Of the Cubs dugout and into it. Hosmer goes again. This one is a sinking liner to right. It's going to fall in for a hit. Hosmer keeps on going to third, and it's 1st and 3rd now, with 1 out of the 6th inning for the Padres. What an at-bat there by Christian Villanueva. Fouled off a bunch, took some, and bloops one into right field for a hit that gets Hosmer to third.
Quite a battle going on right there with all the foul balls, and getting this last pitch here, it just shatters his bat off the end. And then Eric Hosmer going on the pitch, trying to stay out of the double play. He flashed look, ball in play. Where is it? He will not stop. 1st and 3rd action. Quite a battle there, and Villanueva wins that war.
First and third, one down. Austin Hedges stands in. 2 for 2 on the night as the Padres catcher. Singling to left in the second, singling to center in the fourth inning. Now a drive to deep left field. Down the line, half headed towards the corner, and that ball is gone. 3-run home run for Austin Hedges. Puts the Padres on top 3-1. How about that? Austin Hedges with his 7th home run of the year, 3rd hit of the night, and the Padres lead it 3-1. What a turn of events tonight at Wrigley.
Now with one swing of the bat, the Padres have now hit their 9th 3-run home run. Austin Hedges goes down and gets a sinker down and in. It's just a matter of staying fair. Judging by the way Austin looked at it, he knew that was going to stay fair. How it can change so quickly. Got his foot down in time. The hands were back, locked and loaded. Go down and get it. Good extension and keeping it fair. That's launch angle there.
Now Freddie Galvis batting with the bases empty thanks to the 3-run home run by Austin Hedges. Chavez comes in, gives up a single and a home run. Allows an inherited runner to score 2, so that first run charged to Mike Montgomery. Now Chavez on the hook at the moment. The Padres on top by 2. Galvis will stroke one foul. Galvis doubled in the second, grounded out to third in the fourth inning. Montgomery leaves after 5 in the third. Charged with the run, won't be part of the decision. Chop to first. Chavez got to hurry up, and he'll just get there. 2 down in the 6th inning.
You know, credit Christian Villanueva for that at bat. A lot of foul balls, right? Austin Hedges on deck and a good look at Chavez coming in to face him. So I think there's some validity to that, to seeing a lot of pitches, to see what he has to offer. He saw some fastballs on deck, and he got one when he was in the batter's box and made him pay.
It's Jose Perella, as Joe Madden's squad has relinquished the lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Perella tonight reached on a fielder's choice and has grounded out to short, 0 for 2. Corey Spangenberg has come out on deck. What would be Robbie Erlin's spot. There's Spangenberg. 20th pitch of relief for Chavez, and that's going to miss. Big cut from Perella, full count now. Walk a single, 3-run shot by Hedges. 2 groundouts in the inning and a payoff pitch. Fly ball right center field. Hayward coming from right and calling as he catches out number 3. But the damage has been done. Austin Hedges on his 3rd hit of the game. It's a 3-run home run that gives the Padres a 3-1 lead after 5.5 from Wrigley Field in Chicago.
to June 19th of last season. Chris Bryant at the plate, fly ball to center field. Matt Caesar grabs it. That's Anthony Rizzo trying to tag up from home plate. He plows into Austin Hedges, who hangs onto the ball for the out. You see on the replay there was plenty of room to get to home plate. Rizzo going out of his way to knock over Austin Hedges. Hedgie would leave the ball game, miss the next 3 or 4 games. The league would eventually rule that indeed Rizzo was in violation of Rule 6.01. All said and done. Is there any hard feelings? Well, according to Austin Hedges, no. He said that they had a little talk. Anthony Rizzo went out of his way to talk to Hedgie in San Diego, and Hedgie said, look, everything was cool. We've worked it out, and I guess they were, because later on in the ballgame when Hedges got a base hit earlier today, they were chatting it up over there at first base. So all seems good, guys. You know, the thing Hedgie said was the thing that upset him the most was that he didn't get a chance to play the rest of the series here at Wrigley Field, where he loves to play. Obviously, 3 hits tonight, including the 3-run blast.
All right, Scan, thanks very much. Enjoying his time tonight. And let's pitch into Rizzo. Almost hit him from Castillo, the new pitcher. After an earlier hit to Channing at first base. Conversation continuing as Rizzo comes up for his 3rd plate appearance.
And the best way to answer back for Austin Hedges? How about a 3-run shot to take the lead, right? Jose Castillo, his 16th game for the left-hander. Oh.
So hit by the pitches, Rizzo, and down to first he goes.
Looks like a breaking ball. Yep. Breaking ball spin, and he turns away from it, but really doesn't turn a back and away from it. Takes it on the shoulder.
Back to the screen. Strike over the outside corner, and it's 0-2. Some defensive changes here. Travis Jankowski has come into the game in left field now. Myers comes out of the game. Not sure why. As Jankowski now a 3rd, a strikeout for Almora Jr. for the first out of the inning.
I think maybe Andy Green beefing up the defense a little bit in the outfield and the infield. Up and out of the zone.
So 1 out, 1 on. Brings up Jason Hayward. Hayward has struck out swinging and an infield hit to first. Castillo hitting Rizzo on a breaking ball to begin the inning. He comes back to strike out Almora Jr. 1 on, 1 out. Only 2 hits so far for the Cubs on the night. Good job by Robbie Erlin. First 5 innings of tonight's game. With the 2 hits, the 1 run. He walked 1 and struck out 4.
It's a good night in the big leagues.
Certainly was by far his best start of the year.
And that's another good sign. You're absolutely right. We documented that in our game open about his 2 starts and his numbers. And I think in a nutshell, Donnie would have to say that Robbie Erlin was on the attack, right? With all of his pitches.
Ahead of most.
Mixed in his pitches through some big curveballs, some change-ups to keep him off balance.
Swing and a miss, and Hayward strikes out. Back-to-back Ks for Castillo. 2 down.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
2 down in the 6th inning. Rizzo at first. Javi Baez 0 for 2. Was grounded out to second. Grounded into a fielder's choice. Gets his feet moving on a pitch down and in. Rizzo reaches, hit by a pitch to begin the inning. Back-to-back Ks, and now a fly ball foul off to the right out play. Really showed no fear since joining the Padres.
Good mound presence, attacks the zone. And I know we've said it many times, but his major league debut struck out the side against the Cincinnati Reds. Joey Votto, Duvall, Suarez. Well, one thing Javi Baez has been doing recently, this is a big swing right here. And, going to the opposite field. And that does not look like an opposite field type swing from the Cubs second baseman. Just 2-1 count. I'd like to categorize that as a free swing. Hitter's count. Come out of your shoes.
Strike 3 call as Castillo ends up striking out the side. Nicely done. We head to the 7th inning with the Padres on top of the Cubs. 3-1 at the end of 6. Jose Castillo striking out Almora, Hayward, and Baez to end the inning. Nice night for Manuel Margot. A couple of hits. Single to right field in the 3rd inning in his first at bat. And a single to right field in the 5th inning. He's also made a nice defensive play out in right center field. Jumping into the ivy to make the grab out there.
Both sides of the ball paying dividends for Manuel Margot.
Travis Jankowski is going to pinch hit. Or not pinch hit, but to bat in the pitcher's spot after taking over in left field. So that'll be the night for Jose Castillo. As Jankowski leads it off here in the 7th inning. Still trying to get confirmation from the Padres on Will Myers. Leaves this game with Jankowski taking over in left field.
48th game for Justin Wilson. Pretty good splits from lefties. Sneaky fast on the fastball at 94.
Jankowski cranks a foul down the left field line. Justin Wilson, the third arm used by the Cubs. This is Chavez. Ended up going 2/3 of an inning, giving up 2 hits and 2 runs. He's on the hook. Walk anybody, nor did he strike anybody out. Fly ball, right center field. Incoming. Almora Jr. still coming. He'll get there. Hung up long enough for the first out of the 7th inning. Manuel Margot 2 for 3 in the ballgame. Just saw his hits both to right field. Pitch high for ball 1. So Montgomery started for the Cubs tonight. 5 1/3, 7 hits, 1 run. Walked 1, struck out 2. Not part of the decision. Jesse Chavez 2/3, giving him 2 hits and 2 runs. Walk anybody, nor did he strike anybody out. Soft loop into right field, and the 3rd hit of the night for Margot. All have been the other way to right. And a 1-out single for Margot to right field. Joins Austin Hedges, who also has 3 hits in the game tonight.
Well, the Padres need to add on here. He gets sawed off at 90. Wilson trying to bury it inside. Looks like he hit his spots, but when you're swinging the bat well, you fight it off. It's up. Little looper in between the outfielders and the infielders. Let's see if he's aggressive on the bases.
Well, here is Carlos Asuaje batting for the first time. Takes over for Will Myers in his spot. Myers have been 0 for 3 in the game. So Asuaje bats second in the order and now plays at second base.
According to the way the Cubs score late, they need to add on. We're leading 3-1 here in the 7th. Cubs and run differential 7th inning and later plus 82. That's scoring late. And that means coming from behind as well for the Cubs. They're the best in Major League Baseball in the category.
Bounces in for ball 2. One out, 1 on. Ball 3, 3-1. Renfroe waiting on deck. Padres batting in their half of the 7th inning. On top by 2. Fly ball, center field. Back goes Almora Jr. Ritherow for out number 2. Back to first goes Margot. 2 down. Bring up Hunter Renfroe. For a 1-4-3 in the ball game tonight. Singled in the first, grounded out to third in the third, grounded out to first base in the 6th inning. Wilson coming in here in the 7th inning. Manfred getting his first look at Justin Wilson tonight. Not a complete chip, but they played for Renfroe to pull for sure. In the infield with Baez, second baseman, well over towards second base.
Can shoot something right through that side of the infield if you would like to stay behind a pitch and barrel it up that way.
That'll miss.
So 37% hit right in the general area of shortstop.
High strike call right at the top of the zone. 3-1. Renfroe batting now. Hosmer next. There are 2 outs so in the inning. Swing and a miss, and it's a full count now. Down and in, ball 4, and Renfroe is aboard with 2 outs. A walk for Renfroe. I mentioned Will Myers leaving the game earlier with an injury, and we're told now from the Padres bruised left foot, and it was earlier in the ball game on this swing off the left foot, foul for Myers, and he would hobble around a little bit and try to walk it off, but could not continue. He comes out of the game. Jankowski took over for him last inning in left field. So 2 on, 2 down. And Eric Hosmer coming up. Ball 1. So Wilson has been for the most part around 95 miles an hour.
It's kind of sneaky fast too, because that delivery is really not a violent delivery, so the ball jumps out of his hand nicely.
His 20th pitch of relief here in the inning. At second, Renfroe at first, 2 down here in the inning. Padres trying to add on. 2-run advantage here in the 7th. Gets away and trying to advance at first was Renfroe, but Margot not going anywhere at second base. Now be careful with Contreras, because if we can get to it, he can throw you out.
That snap throw is one of the best ever. Very quick release, and a cannon to go along with it. So here's the pitch. He just boxes it, doesn't catch it cleanly. Goes off the webbing. Secondary lead, hop, thinking about it. Nope. Whoa, put on the brakes over there. Renfroe scampering back.
Line into center field for Hosmer for a base hit. Margot coming around from second. Here comes the throw. It's offline. Run scores. They got Hosmer, who will get back to the bag at first, driving in a run, and the Padres take a 4-1 lead. Eric Hosmer with a 2-out RBI single. And the Padres add on.
Hosmer hits a P-rod off of Wilson. Lefty on lefty. It looks like a little breaky ball. Stays on that one nicely. Just takes it right over the shortstop's head. Good extension. 2 outs, off and running.
First and third with 1 out, a run in. And Christian Villanueva coming up. A great at bat, 10-pitch at bat before he singled in his last plate appearance. Set the table for the 3-run home run by Austin Hedges. So the Padres had a run so far here in the 7th.
Pretty straight fastball from Wilson. Villanueva likes to hit against lefties, especially from the home run standpoint.
Driven to left field, down the line. Happ heads over on the run to get there. Nice running catch to make the final out of the top of the 7th inning. Padres had a run, 7th inning stretch, 4-1 San Diego. Wilson Contreras on this play after Galvis records the out at second, goes home with it. And initially he was called out, but it was overturned after they reviewed the play, and the Cubs would take a 1-0 advantage. Austin Hedges with a 3-run shot answers for the Padres in the top of the 6th inning. The very next inning, and the Padres take the 3-1 advantage. It had another run in the 7th. And San Diego enjoying a 4-1 lead over the Cubs. To the bottom of the 7th we go, and into the game checks in left-hander Matt Strom.
Well, after fouling Castillo, who pitched an inning, 3 strikeouts, another lefty, Matt Strom. He's got the good live fastball, 95-96, breaking ball that is nasty. Swing guy as well. Remember, he was starter for Johnny Holstaff day. Try to preserve the 3-run lead as it's getting late.
Dealing with Wilson Contreras to lead it off here in the 7th inning, who has fly to right and walked. Pops it up this time. Hosmer in fair ground makes the catch for out number 1 of the 7th inning. So 1 out brings up Ian Happ. Talking earlier about the Cubs and what they do late in games. Most come from behind wins, 34 of them on the year.
Yeah, from the 7th inning on, plus 82 run differential, and that's the proof right there. That's why you have to add on late if you got the chance.
One out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. That brings up Ian Happ. Bunt pin, pops it up, foul on play. Up and over the screen behind home plate. 0 for 2 in this game, striking out twice. Both times, Robbie Erlin got him. Starter tonight for San Diego. Padres pitching. A total of 7 strikeouts in the game. Rounder left side to short. Galvis sidearmed it in time. 2 down. Strom taking over here in the 7th, takes over for Jose Castillo, who hit Anthony Rizzo with a curveball in the 6th inning, but then struck out the side. They got Mora, Hayward, and Baez, so a total of 7 strikeouts for Padres pitching. 2 down here in the 7th. That takes us to Addison Russell, the Cubs shortstop.
See how far he stands off the plate? I learned a long time ago. Anthony Rizzo crowds the plate, right? He likes to spin on fastballs inside. I learned very quickly when a guy's off the plate, he likes to dive and cover that outside part of the plate. That means you can get him in. He likes to get extended and wear out that outside corner. And the first guy that I realized that was Tim Wallach. He stepped in the box and I thought, wow, he's just letting me just go down and away on him. Next thing I know, he's rattling a double off the right center field wall after going down and away. Then I found out you can get him in with fastballs in.
Well, tonight's attendance 40,714. 40714 for game 1. The 4-game series between the Padres and the Cubs. One-two foul to the screen. So 1 for 2, singled his last time up, one of only 2 hits Cubs have put together in this contest against Padres pitching. On the ground to third. Villanueva's throw in time to end the inning. Strom is a 1-2-3 7th. Padres take a 4-1 lead to the 8th. All right, Mike and Tony, thanks very much. Here, the Padres have a 4-1 advantage over the Cubs. And the new pitcher, Brian Dunsing, into the game. It's time for the Bill Howe play of the game. How about a 3-run shot for Austin Hedges with the Padres trailing 1-0 at the time. They take a 3-1 lead with one swing of the bat for Austin Hedges. His 7th home run of the year. And leads it off here in the 8th against Brian Dunsing.
There are home runs and then there are big home runs. That from when the Padres were behind to take the lead. They still have that lead. And there's a good chance that they can take even a bigger lead off of Dunsing. He hasn't pitched well lately. 22 earned runs in his last 13 2/3. ERA from 2.29 to 7.24 in that time.
The Cubs as a team have not been allowing a lot of runs. Their pen at a 1.06 ERA from July 27th through yesterday. And they've allowed 3 runs in tonight's game, the pen. So it's been a different story for the Cubs tonight against the Padres in game 1 of this series. 43rd appearance for Brian Dunsing. A high earned run average.
Ouch. And the walks. 25 walks in 32 1/3.
Fly ball struck well to left. Happ has room this time. On the edge of the warning track, he makes the catch for the first out of the 8th inning. Some changes defensively for the Cubs as Tommy LaStella takes over at second base, and moving from second to shortstop is Javi Baez with Addison Russell coming out of the game. One out in the 8th for Freddie Galvis. For 3, a double back in the 2nd inning for Freddie. On a strike down to Galvis. Having a lead here. Andy Green can probably put together a little bit about what he wants to do here from a bullpen standpoint. Saw Castillo in it, Strom in it. You got Stammen up right now in the pen.
Blueprint's looking pretty good right about now.
Down the line to third, a fair ball. It'll kick to the left fielder Happ as Galvis heads for second base. Throw going there too, and Galvis should be safely into second with a 1-out double. Second double of the night for Freddie Galvis.
Freddie pulling the ball tonight. This is a breaking ball. Wow. If this ball might have even bounced in. As you can see, Contreras getting ready to catch that ball in the short hop. Throw coming in, played safe, the pop-up slide. Good chance for the Padres to add on here. His 21st double, 2nd tonight.
Looks like A.J. Ellis is going to pitch in. The runner at second and 1 down. Chance here for A.J. Ellis. .293, a home run. 12 runs batted in. .399 on base percentage. Into his 45th game of the year. Ellis drives one towards the gap in left center field, and that's going to get down. One hops the wall. Around from second comes Galvis. A.J. Ellis into second base with an RBI double, and the Padres take a 5-1 lead.
Third inning in a row that the Padres have scored at least 1 run, and they are adding on against the left-handers of the Cubs. The relievers from the left side not doing that well. Going into this game, Dunsing, Wilson, Padres are taking advantage of that. I'll tell you what, it's not easy coming off the bench, and A.J. Ellis making it look easy. Chalk up another point for San Diego. Hard holding back the smiles.
This Padres offense has been very impressive tonight. A hit in every inning, at least one. 2 so far here in the 8th, back-to-back doubles. 5-1 Padres lead. Travis Jankowski. Inside out swing and a foul into the Cubs dugout. Travis pitch hit in the 7th, fly down center. 250 average with runners in scoring position on the year. He's got Ellis at second right now with one down. Strike call.
Travis choking up, get a little bit more back control, maybe spank something to the left side.
Line to left field and a base hit for Jankowski. Ellis will take third. And Happ gets it back into the infield. Third straight hit for the Padres off Brian Dunsing. And his troubles continue.
A.J. Ellis, double, big smile. Travis Jankowski slaps this one to the left side. First and third action. Hard holding back the smiles for Travis as he's on first base. A.J. Ellis freezing, line drive. He's going to get to third base no matter what. Do not want to get doubled up. From his vantage point, it's a line drive. He doesn't know if it's hit to his left or his right. Plays it safe.
First and third, one out. And Manuel Margot's had a 3-hit game. On the ground, a deep short. Baez, a bobble, goes to second for one. On to first, it's airmailed, and a run will score. Ball ends up in the Padres dugout. Tommy La Stella with that throw that ends up in the Padres dugout. And another run will score here for San Diego on top 6-1. Got Jankowski 6-4 on the force out.
Keep putting pressure on this Cubs team. 2 outs. Another guy in scoring position. That's Manuel Margot. And there's a little bobble as Jankowski's off the crack of the bat. Here's the bobble. It's short. Baez to La Stella. Good clean slide into second base. And La Stella airmailing it over the Padre dugout.
So Margot reaches on the fielder's choice. Error charge to the second baseman La Stella, but Margot does get credit for an RBI. And the Padres have jumped on top 6-1. 5-run advantage, and here is Suaje for the second time tonight. Fly out to center field in the 7th inning, 0 for 1. Each of the relievers, Chavez, Wilson, and now Dunsing, have each given up at least 1 run. After the starter, Montgomery, 5 1/3, only gave up 1. This is on the ground to La Stella, who throws out Suaje. The Padres pick up 2 more runs, take a 6-1 lead to the bottom of the 8th. Jack in the Box. Come try Jack's new triple cut premium burgers with custom blend of sirloin, chuck, and brisket only at Jack in the Box. And by Sequan Casino, opening in 2019 is Sequan's brand new 300-room resort and hotel. Beautiful night in Chicago, game 1 of a 4-game series, and it's gone well for the Padres to this point. Stammen checks in with the Padres on top 6-1.
Well, how nice is it for the Padre bullpen to come in late to a ball game, especially a place like this, Wrigley Field, and have a 5-run cushion as Craig Stammen hopefully continues his 8-inning scoreless streak. 48th game for the right-hander. Really good splits. He's been on his game lately. The two-seamers working. He's locating it well. And he's got a slider to boot as one of his strikeout pitches. That's the beauty of Craig Stammen. He can strike out and get outs with his two-seamer and his slider as well.
Stella took over at second base defensively last inning. Bats for the first time. Bats out of the 8 spot. In the 7th game he's been in, and takes a look at strike 2. Stammen picking up that outside corner. Strom worked the 7th and had a 1-2-3 inning. And Stammen on for the 8th. Cubs have been held to 2 hits. An infield hit by Hayward in the 4th. Single to right by Addison Russell in the 5th. That's been it. Did he go? Yeah, he did. Went around. Home plate umpire Shane Livensbarger ringing him up. Well, tonight is game 1. Tomorrow, game 2. We play day baseball from Chicago. In fact, the next 3 games will all be day games from Chicago. Tyson Ross will be on the mound for the Padres, coming in at 6-8 with a 4.41 earned run average, to be matched up against Jose Quintana, who gets to start tomorrow, looking for his 10th win of the year. 9-7 with a 4.26 earned run average. Started at 11 a.m. San Diego time for game 2 of this 4-game series between the Padres and the Cubs.
Don, you just mentioned only 2 hits tonight for the Cubs. That's really a feather in the cap of the Padres pitching staff. They lead the National League in hits. They're 3rd in, check that, 1st in average and in hits. So the Padres pitching staff making some really good pitches tonight against this Cub lineup.
Seven in a row retired by Padres pitching right now. Struck out 8 in the game tonight. There's a grounder to Galvis at short for out number 2 of the 8th inning. Top of the order, Anthony Rizzo coming up.
I was hoping to see Matt Strom stay in this game to get an at-bat against David Bodie, because they were both teammates at that baseball hotbed in Kansas. You know what college I'm talking about. Neosho County Community College.
I was just gonna say, no, I don't.
Yeah. So they were teammates there. Seeing both of them in tonight's ball game.
2 down here in the 8th inning, and Rizzo standing in with Padres in a shift on the right side.
He's got tremendous movement on that 2-seam fastball at 92 from Craig Stammen.
There's the shift. Swahe in short right field. Being away with third baseman, joining them on the right side of the infield. Tenth pitch of the inning coming up for Stammen. It's the first 2 outs on a strikeout and a ground out. Now Rizzo lifts one down the left field line, headed towards foul ground and into the seats about 4 rows deep.
only 2 singles for the Cubs tonight. Talk about a team that's up there in slugging percentage as well. They're third in slugging percentage. They get on base.
Ball and 2 strikes here to Anthony Rizzo. Center fielder Margot over towards left center. On the ground left side. Galvis from short left with a long throw. Not going to be there in time. Nice try though. Freddie Galvis. Deep shortstop, back shallow left field for that matter. And a nice drive. Rizzo will reach.
Even if that one is bounced towards Hosmer, let's take a look. This might be the better angle as far as if it's on line. Yeah, he probably beat it out anyway. But once again, getting that baseball, we see the range of Freddie Galvis. Fun to watch.
So 2 down, Rizzo at first, and it brings up Almora Jr. 0 for 3 in the game. Not alone in that category though. Cubs only with 3 hits. Stella struck out. Bodie grounded out. Rizzo the infield hit. In the air to center. Margot has it sized up. Makes the catch. It ends the 8th. We head to the 9th. Padres on top 6-1. For the Padres, it goes 5 strong, giving up just 1 run on only 2 hits against a very good Cubs lineup. Very impressive, and actually got a hit himself as well offensively. So Robbie Erlin, terrific tonight for the Padres. Not only pitching, but a swing there as well to get a base hit.
I think everything they asked for and more from the left-hander. And once again, turning around those numbers we talked about in our pregame show and our open about the starter numbers and the relief numbers for Robbie Erlin. He really turned that around tonight.
Dunsing, who gave up a pair of runs in the 8th, is back out there to start the 9th. Renfroe, Eric Hosmer, Christian Villanueva scheduled to bat in the inning. Meanwhile, the Padres pen 3 shutout innings. One for Castillo, one for Strom, one for Stammen. There's a grounder to third base. Bodie with a hop and a throw. In time to get Renfroe for the first out of the 9th inning. So 1 down, and that'll bring up Eric Hosmer. Hosmer's been aboard twice tonight. A walk and a single. Also driven in a run. Single in the 7th inning, extending his hitting streak now to 9 games. Permeating is up in the pen right now for the Padres.
That view right there is still hard to look at. It's hard to get used to.
Pretty weird.
It is weird. It's like they're in a laboratory or something.
The only way we can see him is that camera in there. Can't see anything but the wall from here. But it looks much more comfortable than perhaps the bullpens that were here exposed.
I kind of liked sitting out there by the fence.
Did you?
Yeah.
This one is chopped down the first baseline, foul.
It's a good way to get some food down there from some fans, and over the course of a 4-game series, you get some season ticket holders down there that are regulars.
Get to know people.
Yeah. You know, though, in all safety and looking, for the health of players, it's a good thing that they were taken out. Those guys sprinting in foul territory and then finding the mound, getting a dirt sandwich.
Grounder right side. Dunsing's over to cover, and he's there. Rizzo feeding him nicely for the second out of the 9th inning. So 2 down in the 9th. That'll bring up Christian Villanueva. 1 for 4 night. Outfield straight away for the Cubs on Villanueva. Singled back in the 6th inning, came around and scored the 2nd run. Dunsing gave up 3 hits and 2 runs in his first inning of relief in the 8th. There's 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, Hayward, Baez, and Contreras scheduled to bat, but the lead right now for the Padres, a comfortable 5-run lead.
There's been a lot of this 40,000 plus crowd that's left. A lot of empties in the bleachers, a lot of empty seats, field level.
At 1,40,714, but the Padres tacking on 2 more. They're half of the 8th on top, 6-1. Now this one to right center field, falling fast and in for a hit. Moore Jr. plays on a couple of hops. A 2-out base hit for Villanueva. 2nd hit of the night for Christian.
Looked like it got sawed off there. Talk about fighting another one off. We've seen the Padres do that a lot tonight. Van Wilmar going the opposite way. That's off the end of the bat. I stand corrected. He was a little bit too quick to that one. I thought he got jammed. That was off the end. Avoiding the sweet spot and dumping one in there for a big league knock.
The Padres have had hits in every inning in this ball game tonight. or most recent, a 2-out base hit by Villanueva, and a 3-hit night tonight for their catcher, Austin Hedges, who bats down. A big blast, a 3-run shot in the 6th inning. He had 2 singles prior to that. Balls, no strikes to Hedges. Dunsing allowed the 2-out base hit to Villanueva. Now falls behind Hedges with Galvis waiting on deck. Very high for ball 4, not close. And the Padres have something going here with 2 down in the 9th. Here comes Freddie Galvis looking to add on. Tough for Joe Madden to watch right now.
Yeah, the look on the face tells the whole story, doesn't it?
Sure does.
I mean, this is a club that's tough to beat at home. Got a really good record here at Wrigley Field. Going into tonight, 33-19.
Nice night tonight for Freddie Galvis. 2 hits, both doubles. Double left in the 2nd, and double left in the 8th. Oh, 2. Just missed away.
Trying to go 2-seamer way at 91. Contreras tries to bring it back. Not getting the call.
Balls, 2 strikes to Galvis. Inning started with Renfroe grounding out. Hosmer grounded out. Villanueva with a single, a walk for Hedges. 2 on, 2 down. More pitches for Dunsing. This will be 39 coming up in an inning and 2/3. Galvis still grounded to first. Rizzo's going to need help. Over is Dunsing for the out. And that sends us to the bottom of the 9th inning with the Padres on top 6-1. trying to wrap it up here for the Padres against the Cubs. And Hayward, Baez, and Contreras coming up. But Maton into the game for his 28th appearance.
Pitching well on the road, 12 outings, a 2.77 ERA, collectively his 28th game. A little high on the walks, though. He's got a good pad working right here. How about being really aggressive towards these Cubs hitters and no free passes? Have them earn their way on here in the ninth.
Padres trying to put an end to their 7-game losing streak tonight. Have a 6-1 lead to the bottom of the 9th inning. Jason Hayward going to lead it off. Singled in the 4th inning. Struck out twice tonight, 1 for 3.
You know, the one thing I look at tonight's game, offensively for the Padres, they only struck out 2 times tonight. How many times have they been in the double digits in that category? I know Mike Montgomery doesn't throw that hard, but still, only 2 strikeouts offensively for the Padres.
Meanwhile, Padres pitching and struck out 8 in the game. Really, the Cubs have been unable to really square anything up at all tonight against this Padres pitching staff. Two infield hits and a pop fly single, the only hits tonight for Chicago. 3 altogether. Hayward now, he saw Baez next. Center field, and Margot started back, now comes in and makes the catch for out number 1 to the bottom of the 9th inning. Javier Baez coming up. Baez 0 for 3 in the game tonight. Eton taking over for Stammen, 1 inning. Now no runs, and a strikeout, allowed 1 hit. Strike 1. Fly ball, center field again. Margot this time to right center. And he handles the first 2 outs of the 9th inning. 2 up, 2 down, and Wilson Contreras coming up for Chicago. It's been a fun night for the Padres.
You know, the good thing is also late. I mean, the big swing by Hedges, the 3-run shot, when they were down, that's huge. And then adding on late.
Padres have had hits in every inning of this game against Cubs pitching. This one is chopped down the 3rd baseline foul. Last game they did that. Go back to 2015, May 24th at LA against the Dodgers. It's an impressive attack tonight, both offensively, defensively, and good pitching. Great pitching. Inside almost hit Contreras on the breaking ball.
You know what else? Another thing I look at after a win, hopefully a win like this, you look at the left on base. Padres have left 10 according to my card. Right? That's a good thing, bad thing. It's a good thing because they've scored 6 runs out of it. It's okay if you leave that many. That means there's a lot of traffic, but they're coming through. The big swing by Hedges, but also leaving them on. So what? You're up by 5. Now, if you're down by 4 or 5, that's a different story. You're not coming through.
Up and away to even the count at 2-2. Two fly ball outs here for Phil Maton, getting Hayward to fly to center. Baez to fly to center. Now Contreras lines one to right, incoming, and making the catch in right field is Hunter Renfroe. And the Padres win. Sinking liner to right. And Renfroe comes in to make the sliding catch that ends the ball game. This one looked like it may get some grass, but Renfroe diving forward, able to make the catch and end the ball game. What a ball game it was. The Padres win it 6-1. They take game 1 of this 4-game series and end the 7-game losing streak. It's time for Padres Live. Mike Pomeranz, what's in store?